You know, I should really stop being surprised that you keep coming back. It's me, yes, you know, Artemis Underhill. I just like saying my name, to be perfectly honest. And boy, are we at the breaking point of the campaign. Because our numbskull heroes are about to face off with an elf. An elf that's not been seen in our world for thousands of years. Our heroes need to prove themselves and show that they can do something that no other universe or person in history has ever done. To put the world on a new track, a new place. Can they do it? Boy, I hope so. Let's find out. You feel the tension of the room begin to kind of build and gather, and the air grows thinner. Oh, what? Where am I? Where are my manners? Sorry, I've been doing this way too long. First, I offer you to drink from the fountain in the middle. It will replenish you. It will give you back your strength. We wouldn't want this to be an unfair fight, would we?
I guess not.
No, we would not.
And he motions to like the black. The water is so clear that it's black when you look down in it without a reflection. And he motions and stands politely in the middle of the room.
I dive in, mouth full, hands cupping the water, shoveling it into my face.
It's only about it's about a forearm deep, so you kind of smash your head against the bottom of the basin, but you feel the energy kind of course into your veins and into your body, refreshing you and returning your strength.
I suddenly feel refreshed.
Also, conveniently, you're completely dry when you come back out.
I cup some in my hand and drink it.
I too cup in my hand.
Charlidros, the same thing affects you. You feel rejuvenated. Any abilities that you missed kind of return to you, and your health replenishes to full. Then the rest of you kind of watch awkwardly as you kind of see Cornelius for a couple moments, not fully, cup his hands awkwardly over, and the water escapes before he reaches it to his mouth for a little bit, until eventually he kind of gets it into his mouth and just kind of drinks deeply.
That's really tricky. How do you...
You playing with the water?
I'm from a...
Were you never taught how to drink?
We have cups. Cups were invented for a reason.
Oh, cups. We have cups where I'm from. Now, Jesus, rich kid over here. Back in my day, we had lucky to have pieces of cardboard that we could sit between two mouses to give them to us.
Two mouses? Why'd you have two mice?
Yes.
And why'd you need a cardboard?
Because you get the two mice and you stick a pin through them that connects them, then you wrap the cardboard around them and you've got like a half pipe that you can put liquid into to drink out of.
Oh, you've lost me on that one, Lief. I don't know what you're on about.
What? The poor mice. Why are you stabbing the mice? At least
because I'm not rich and I don't have fancy glasses.
Were they at least dead first?
On about. Yeah, they're dead.
Okay. I just... Yep. Sorry.
Now, I don't mean to get involved with your squabbling, but time is of the essence, you could say.
So you want us to kill you now? Just, do we count down? Is there like a 3, 2, 1? Do you have some sort of go system? Does someone come out and wave a flag? Do we play rock, scissors, paper? Is there a game of hopscotch beforehand? Do I just run at you? Do I just throw something at you right now?
Let us begin. And with that, he splits into 3. Either side of him, he also forms 2 copies of himself.
That is so impressive.
Everybody roll initiative. And the fight begins.
Is the fountain could I take cover behind it? Is it high enough, or is it just is it sunken into the ground?
It's sunken into the ground. Everything's flat except for on the edges. There is 6, 3 on each side. There's small green fires. Behind you, there's a small ledge on either side of the doorway, and then there's a platform and 2 small ledges across from you from where he is currently stood.
I'm also going to assume that we can't just continuously drink from the fountain. Is he, like, magically taking its magic powers out? Or can I just, like, stand by the fountain and continuously heal?
I would say... it's kind of... As you look into it, instead of water, you now see what looks to be like a black abyss.
I want to quickly pull out my bow and arrow and fire a shot at him in the middle there, and then run over to the left and get behind cover there.
So roll your attack.
10.
The bolt fires towards him. He kind of gently pushes it to one side and flicks it off to his right.
Whatever, it was a distraction to get me behind cover, sucker.
Oh, it. I'm just going to run like hell for leather at number 2. Both whips out. I think I'm just going to like unfurl them as I'm like running towards them. They're kind of flailing behind me. And I'll like try and slice one like over top of the other.
You dash into action, you unfurl your whips, and at the same time you bring your arms across yourself, whipping them through, creating like a cross point in between. Almost like trying to be Wolverine. You kind of cut through him, like through his sides, like rip off part of what would be the armor on his chest, but it reforms.
Okay, I'm going to move towards Lief, but probably a bit further towards the back of the room. And then I want to cast on number 2, Ray of Sickness.
The ray looks like it's about to hit true, and then it kind of dissipates and fizzles out. From his side, all of a sudden, number 1 pulls out like a jeweled dagger from his hand, from his side into his hand, not from his hand. That would be cool though. And he fires an eldritch blast at Lief.
Don't fire my spells.
23 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And you take 9 damage from that as the blast pelts into you. And then in your mind you hear, Why? Why do you believe you deserve to be the hero?
I just think about the fact I haven't drunk for quite a long time. That was probably a weird side effect of that.
And with that, the third one pulls out a book from his side and launches Ray of Sickness at Cornelius. The ray kind of begins to spiral through his hand. He tosses it forward, missing Cornelius very, very closely. Manages just to feel it hit the wall behind you. Why did you run away, boy? You hear as it flashes through your mind. And then number 2 unfurls 2 whips.
I have a funny feeling they're using our own attacks on us, guys.
First hit will be a non-natural 20, and the second hit will be a 15. So the 15 misses. You manage to block it with your arm and push the whip away, but the first one hits you. Deal 8 damage to you. As it hears, and you failed your people, yet you still run and try and fight.
Which one was the one that shot at me again?
Number 1.
Eldritch Blast at that.
The blast hits and has a big impact on the side of the spirit. It rejoins and its arm kind of takes reshape, but there is a large scorch mark across its side now.
You're going to need to get better at those.
I hit him! Just lean back up against the wall, and look at where Cornelius is and mouth, what the f*** are we doing?
I shrug.
And with that, Charlidros, it's your turn.
I'm giving the old 1-2. Actually aiming this time to try and take his arms off, as I with each of my hands on to each of his arms. I'm definitely not with the first one, because that was a 7. And
Yep.
15.
15 also misses. As you go to whip down, he pushes your arms out of the way and moves the direction of each hit.
I'm going to move closer to the wall. And then I'm going to cast Hold Person on number 2. So you need to make a wisdom saving throw.
You see the magic take hold, and as he goes to strike Charlidros, his body stiffens. And then, all of a sudden, it begins to move again and flex, as the whole person didn't seem to take effect. The one with the jeweled encrusted dagger steps down from the plinth and walks slowly towards you, forming this blue crackling energy in his hand as he throws it towards Lief, but misses. As you duck, it swivels and actually hits the wall behind you, burning a massive hole in it, and then the wall reforms up.
Oh my god, everything in here's fake! We can't die. We're not real either. I begin pinching myself.
You hear in your head, "You wish you were not real. Yet those that believe in you make you real." As the third one walks and continues to advance towards Cornelius, chucking a firebolt at him. As the firebolt hits you perfectly in your center, you take 10 points of damage. Did your friend die so you could die here? Or did he die for your better purpose? Number two is going to take 2 more attacks at Charlidros. First one misses.
Suck it.
Second one hit. As you duck the first one, you look up to laugh at him in his face. As he swings around and you cop a whip straight in the side of the face. Only dealing 4 damage though. You hear, "So, the dragon of the slums wants to leave the slums, does he?"
No, I'm trying to save the people in the slums.
What are the things, like where number 1 started, like the 2 podiums next to him? What are they just like lights on top of those?
They're statues.
They're statues. What are the statues of?
The statues are of, you would know they were of elves, just elven figures.
Can I charge at number 1 and attempt to body slam it into the fountain in the middle?
Make a grapple for me. You run forward with all your might. You dash forward and you feel solid impact, and you're pushing with all your might. Cornelius and Charlidros, you look over your shoulder to see the ghost form with one hand on his head, and his arms kind of swinging wildly either side, pushing and running against the palm of his hand.
As all that's happening, I just yell out to the other 2, "Try and push them in the fountain!"
You're literally a gag at this point.
No, put them in the fountain!
I'm sure there's like a wrestling name for it, but when I kind of grab him around the waist and do like an over-the-shoulder try and slam him into the ground, I'm going to do that to number 2 and try and get him in the hole.
So first grapple him. You'd have to do it across 2 turns. There's nothing where you can literally just chuck him in there in 1 turn. You can try and grapple it first, and then you'd have to do a throw action next turn.
Okay, I can do that. 15.
You managed to lock your arms around him fighting off, trying to push you off, but you managed to lock your grip and hold him in place. He is officially grappled. Actually, because you have a second attack, I'll let you attempt the throw now as well. You manage to throw him towards it and ends up there. As he nears the center of the well kind of closes up and dies down.
Okay, can I get into a position where I'm within 15 feet of all 3?
Yep.
Cool. Then I cast Thunder Wave at level 2.
The energy wave expands and blasts outwards, not affecting 1 or 2. They just stand their ground. Number 3 gets the full impact of it, though. He gets blown backwards. Much of the spectral armor and everything is ripped off and torn to shreds. You see like scars and cuts form on his face as he looks grimly at you.
For a bonus action, can I down a lesser health potion?
Oh, you definitely can. As all of a sudden, number 1 springs into action, spinning around his dagger and hurtling through the air. You hear, "And it's fight fever. You know how to stab them." It deals 4 damage as it sinks into your side and leaves a welt of blood pouring out of your side.
As it hits me, and then I look down to see if my dagger's still on my side.
Yeah, your dagger, and you notice as you look down at the dagger stabbing into your side and the dagger in its hilt, into its scabbard, both are exactly the same.
The fuck?
And you, once again in your mind, you say, "Tell me, why do you fight?" Number 3 walks into the middle, throwing his hand into a fist and punching the ground. This shockwave ripples through. Everybody roll a Constitution saving throw for me. As the wave kind of passes through Lief and Charlidros, you two both brace for it, and nothing happens. Cornelius, you take 7 damage and are pushed back 10 feet. As you're pushed backwards and you hear rip through your body and your mind, "Are you going to run away again, boy?" Number two's turn. He then roars into a surge of action as the ferocity of the... Almost you can hear a roar of rage kind of build up in your opponent, and he slams his whips into you, yelling, "How do you expect to save them when you're going to die here?"
I'm not gonna die, kid.
Who are you talking to?
No one.
I'm going to use vicious mockery on the guy in front of me who's holding me back.
Okay. How are you viciously mocking him?
You tall, ghostly piece of shit.
He kind of, you see like the break of tension in his face as he kind of feels truly hurt. Roll your damage.
2.
2 damage, and his next attack will be at disadvantage on you.
Okay, well, I'm gonna take one of my standard health potions. 15 extra health to me, which interestingly, if he hits me as he did last time, I would still die. So I've got my 2 whips, and what I'm actually gonna do is kind of spin them around a couple of times like I'm warming them up, like the height of my body, before straightening my arms fully and lashing down onto him. Both aimed at his head.
You spin into action. You have to drink either health potion. Your body feels revigorated. He manages to duck under the first one, but then as he ducks down, you bring up almost like an uppercut with the second whip, smashing it into his chest and face. He looks up at you with like half his face like shredded, but he smiles and spits out some. It would be blood, but it's like almost like a blue essence, like onto the floor.
I'm gonna cast Magic Missile against number 3, I guess it is, the one next to the fountain.
All three automatically hit. You smash them, and then the light builds up. And as the light begins to build up, the ghost you hear finally in your mind say, "You are done running. Give back to the world. Lead the way." And the spirit form flies into the black circle in the center of the room, which begins to pulsate with the energy.
I take a deep breath.
They die!
Exhale.
Number 1's going to take another swing. Lief with a disadvantage, missing. You manage to catch his arm in midair, pushing it back as he goes to stab you. The vicious mockery really throwing him off his attack. You hear, "You can't win every battle with your words, boy."
I'm going to pull out my magic dagger and just slam it into this guy's side of his chest. And say, "So how do you like that?" And I make sure I slam it into the exact same side he slammed his into mine.
You send the dagger flying through the air, and you hear, "Play that funky stabbing white elf. Play that funky stabbing right." The dagger sinks in and finds purchase, cutting into the elf before you twist it and pull the dagger.
To be on the safe side, I'll pop my last lesser health potion.
Minor change of tack. Pulling out my my greatsword. And I'm aiming to drive it like straight through his chest. Yeah! I want your best like natural 20 description of me driving this ginormous sword through his chest.
You grab the sword out and stick it into his chest, not feeling like you've done it well enough. You do like a spinning back kick into the pommel of the sword, driving it in further. You spin around with the momentum, slashing the whip across at the elf. As the whip hits, the elf's body begins to glow again, radiating with energy. You hear in your head, "You may have grown up in the slums, but you became yourself with your friends." As the energy is swallowed up by the pool in the center of the room, which begins swirling with energy even faster.
I gotta
and
leave.
greater.
Hey, Lief, is this one of those things that you have to do it yourself, or do you want me to help you?
I feel like it's one of those things you have to, as I'm pushing back against him still, do yourself.
Alright, I hold my action until Lief's...
Hold your action,
Until
sure.
Lief has his next attack. After his last next
Okay,
attack.
sure. Number 1 begins to drive his blade into you once more, dealing 6 damage to you as the dagger plunges into you, going. I am free to know half-elf.
I feel like you're getting the better songs.
That's not the worst part about this battle, Lief.
No, it's not, as I pull out my hand with blood on it.
How do you intend to find yourself, Lief?
In a fit of anger, I once again just stab my dagger back into him, hoping for a equivalent level song. Nat 20!
Nat 20. This is just a stabbing. You gotta believe it, and I wish you were there, but now you are dead. Good God! Do your damage!
It's 5, 6, so it's 9.
As you stab in, you hear, looks like you found a better purpose in this world than being a drunkard, my boy.
Being a DJ, son of
As his face disappears and plunges into the pool. As you guys stand there, exasperated from the fight, the pool of the energy now, almost like a whirlpool, is spinning out of control, growing before a bright white light washes over the room. In the center of the room, you see an image, once again, of the elf. But this time, it seems to be the real version. It's almost like it's some kind of moving pictures, or it's like a play, but on a screen almost.
There's a moving image on that parchment.
Well done. We have waited many years for this to come. Many lifetimes. I am Syrial, the Loremaester. Now first I must congratulate you. But at the same time, it is an empty congratulations, because this is where your battles begin. The true battles. Where I stand here before you, it is still the time of the elves and the dragons. But that time is almost at its end. And we will be no more. But it is still my task to help you first.
The time of the elves and dragons ended centuries ago.
In the statues you will find 3 gifts. One for each of you, to aid you with your tasks. I must warn you, once you leave this place, you will not be safe for some time. Remember, before you are some difficult choices. One choice that changes the rest of the world. Believe in what you have learned so far. It's a hard decision. Once you've made that decision, your life's true purpose begins. Find her. Bring her back into the world.
Who is her?
Who?
Good luck, Lief, Cornelius, and Char.
Oh, not you too.
Charlidros. May luck ever walk at your side. And the light goes dim in the room. And you're just left with the green glow coming from the lanterns either side of you.
I point at that statue and say, Charlidros.
One step ahead of you, mate. And I've obviously already got my whips in my hand.
As you walk towards them, the statues begin to lower slowly, opening up 2 compartments in each statue.
Is there any sign of, like, what's on the inside? Are they like packages that we can tell whose is for whose or what, something?
As you look, there is 3 things. There is a cloak, a set of armor, and a staff. Each one has a small piece of parchment. The cloak has Lief written on it. The staff has Cornelius written on it, and the armor has Charlidros written on it. And the 4th compartment bears a small book.
I'm just gonna go grab my armor and put it on straight away. Does it look awesome?
It does. It It changes color as you don it to almost have bronze scales and bronze like highlights across the armor. It is WoW level of armor. And as you wear it, some almost like smoldering willows of smoke start to come from the shoulders. Very small wisps, but they continue to grow off your shoulders.
I feel awesome.
That armor kind of looks like that Chancellor guy or whatever we met before.
That one wasn't smoking, though.
That's true. Not yet.
I pick up my cloak and chuck it around myself and just begin kind of like holding it the bottom sides as they drape around me, doing like a bit of a, does it look good?
As you do, the cloak almost hangs loosely off your shoulders, almost like a shadow, and the shadows around you kind of almost move towards you to cloak you.
What? So the shadow, am I invisible?
You're not quite sure just yet. You kind of, as you walk around, Cornelius and Charlidros find a very hard time trying to keep track of you as you kind of move into the shadows that the flames are making.
Whoa, we're having a hard time keeping track of you in the shadows that the flames are making.
You can't see me when I'm inside the shadows that the flames are making?
Yeah, it's really hard to look at you when you're in the shadows that the flames are making.
Well, that's an interesting invisibility cloak system to have, that you could only be hidden inside the flames of the flames of the flames of the flames of the making.
shadows
the
of
shadows
flames.
of the flames.
Shadow of Flames cloak.
Shadows of flames. I walk over to Charlidros and just stand next to him to see if the little smoke coming off him is enough to trigger my cloak.
It doesn't cast any shadows, so it doesn't seem to do anything.
What color is my cloak? What color is my cloak?
Black.
I just stand next to Charlidros and I look at Cornelius and say, who looks better?
I go grab my staff, all the stuff, and not answer.
You, Cornelius, you reach for your staff. You've seen this staff before. You've seen an exact staff like it. What you hold in your hands, you would believe is the Loremaester's staff.
Oh, what? This is the Loremaester's staff. That doesn't... But Belikar came and he took that staff. But I guess time? I guess? Maybe? I just stand there, dumbfounded.
What is it, Cornelius?
I show the other two without saying a word.
It's a staff. Good job.
I wave it.
He just kind of waves the staff at you. You both realize that staff is something you've seen before.
It looks like this. Cornelius, that looks like the Loremaesters, but
That's what I was saying. Or thinking.
it's not possible. Unless they were made from twins.
What was in the fourth compartment?
There was a small black book.
Okay, I grab the book.
You gonna open the book or just stare at it, Cornelius?
I open the book and start reading. What's it say?
You open the book. The inside is this perfectly elegantly written journal of sorts. Inside, in the most perfectly ornate and elegant writing of silver, is the life and times and events of Syrial, the Loremaester.
It's looks like it's a autobiography of the Loremaester.
What
Syrial.
else to say? Anything interesting?
I start reading through it, or just flipping through it, and hopefully finding the most important
As
page.
you start reading through it, the room almost starts to shake. And it seems like even though it was crafted to house you and to test you, it seems like it's suited its purpose now.
Maybe we should go first.
yeah.
You guys agree? Yeah? Good? Yeah? Solid plan? I start running for the exit.
Where are we going? Or is this...
Through
the mirror thing that we came from,
I
I'm
begin
assuming.
running towards the...
Either that or the
I
abyss.
begin running towards the mirror thing, but as I do a little hop skip to see if I can hold my cloak up in the air and see if I can do a little glide.
You are very surprised when you actually glide.
Oh! That's so...
I can't wait to see you use that when you're drunk.
I'm gliding through that mirror.
As you glide through and the other two run through after you, the room disappears. But the memory of Syrial stays with you for the rest of your journeys. The only people that have ever seen him since the fall of the Elves. Yes, they did it! Hooray! Yes, yes! Oh, let me calm down. I love this part of the story. It gets me so hyped every time. Our heroes have changed history, have changed the universe. And now we don't know what lies ahead. The moment they stepped through that portal, everything changed. The next moments in their lives are the most important moments in the history of the world. The next person they meet could be the person that helps them save the world. I'll see you next time for Tales of Theldan.
The Tales of Theldan is an Explosion Network production. Written by Kieran Marchant, world and scenario by Kieran Marchant, played using 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. Sound mixing and post-production by Dylan Blight. Music and sound effects resources available at explosionnetwork.com. Cast of characters: Dylan Blight as Lief Estelle, Ashley Hobley as Cornelius Bannister, Thomas Marshall as Charlidros, with Kieran Marchant as the Dungeon Master.